What's going on, everybody? It is Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over Liberation Day and what Donald Trump said today that's caused the markets to go crazy. Earlier today we saw the markets actually doing pretty well. We saw Bitcoin going up, we saw other coins going up. It seemed like everything was doing okay. As we're getting to that 4 p.m. Eastern Time announcement for his tax plan, things were trending up. There's rumors about a 10% flat tax across the board. Trump got into it more specifically, and then the markets came crashing back down. So we're going to go over all of that today. But then we're also going to touch on why I'm still bullish, what else is going on in the news. So stay tuned throughout the video. Give your thoughts below. If you like the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see more. Hit that like button. It greatly helps out the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's dive into the price charts real quick. So Bitcoin, as you can see today, started off around 85,000 this morning. We were going up, and we even touched 88,000 at one point. This was leading up 4 p.m. right before he was talking. We reached a high. People thought the flat tax of 10% was going to be across the board. They were liking what they were hearing. They were thinking they were going to get some positive news from President Trump today while he was talking. That turned out not to be the case, and we came crashing right back down right during that speech, and now we are hovering around $82,000. So from 88 down to 82 in the matter of only a couple hours. Hate to see all those profits wiped out, but to be honest, it's not all that surprising. Every other time Donald Trump has talked about tariffs, we have seen prices come down. I don't know why it was going up leading up to this announcement today, because every other time he's talked about tariffs so far while in office, we have gone down immediately after. So it would have been a good time to sell. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but I do feel like we will get right back up to that point here soon. We're going to go over that at the end. So that being said, I found this thread that came out just before, yesterday I believe, but before the tariffs were announced. So I wanted to go over this with you before we get into the actual news. So up or down, April 2nd today marks a significant moment of President Donald Trump is set to introduce new U.S. tariffs. Will it be a pivot point, or is more pain ahead for the crypto market? There's plenty of speculation, but little clarity on what to expect from April 2nd. In a recent interview, Trump referred to the day as Liberation Day, hinting at potential shifts in trade policy. Historically, tariffs have benefited the U.S. economy in the long term by encouraging companies to rebuild domestic infrastructure, create jobs, and strengthen industries. So long term, historically, good tariffs. However, in the short term, the stock market tends to react negatively due to companies' costly restructuring programs and lowered profit expectations, as we saw evident the last couple of times he mentioned tariffs, as we saw evident by today's prices. So everything was down today. S&P 500, Dow futures, all of that down after the tariff news, crypto especially. And this, he basically summed it up before it happened, so it wasn't that much of a surprise. In the short term, the stock market tends to react negatively due to companies' costly restructuring programs and lowered profit expectations. People don't know what to think when these tariffs are announced. The impact on risk on markets, stocks, crypto will largely depend on the severity of these new tariffs. That's why when it was originally thought to be around 10%, prices were going up. People were like, that's not too bad, that's not too severe, that's reasonable. New tariffs got announced, people felt otherwise, prices came back down. So depending on how broad and severe the newly announced tariffs are, they might continue to affect the U.S. market and crypto, leading to more sell-offs, which we saw. Conversely, there's a valid counter-argument that investors have already sold off positions ahead of the announcement. Thus, the market may turn around quickly if the announcement is milder than investors anticipated. Sell the rumor, buy the news. We did not see that. So, wanted to go over that with you guys, that this wasn't really all that much of a surprise based on Trump's history, based on what we heard today. Kind of figured something like this was coming. But every time it does happen, we do see prices get right back to where they were. So I'm not too worried about that. I feel like it's just a tactic. There's going to be ongoing negotiations. They're going to keep talking. He's trying to get them to negotiate, and I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like it's going to work. Good things are going to happen. Historically, tariffs have benefited the U.S. economy in the long term. So I do feel like in the long term, whether it's other countries dropping their tariffs on us, whether it's helping the U.S. economy with the rebuilding of domestic infrastructure, new jobs, strengthening industries, whatever it is ends up happening. I feel like Trump's putting his foot down, trying to call people's bluffs, getting them to restructure their tariffs on us, and then good things are going to come. But in the short term, it sends companies into a panic. So us as investors have to deal with that panic. But if we can stay put, if we can stand strong, historically, things generally tend to do better in the long term when these things happen. So I am not too worried about that. I don't know about you. Please give your comments below. Are you worried about these tariffs? Are you worried about these prices? Do you think, are you just getting tired of being in the market and are you ready to get out? I would love to hear your thoughts. But moving on, here's the new tariff system under the proposed plan. The U.S. would impose the following tariffs in response to rates currently charged to American goods. So Trump's whole thing is they do it to us, we do it to them. Whatever they're charging us, we're going to charge to them. Seems fair, but China 34%, the EU 20%, Vietnam 46%, and on and on. Canada, Mexico, we're left out. Key piece of news. I am paying attention to that, so knowing that we're not doing that to them, good news, because in the past, he has specifically mentioned those two, and that's when we've seen prices go down. It was when we were talking about tariffs on Canada and Mexico. So sounds like they're going to be at 0%. It sounds like Canada agreed to not tariff us if we don't tariff them. And so being at 0, good news overall. But seeing all of this, these are much higher than the 10% that people thought they were going to be. And so that's why the market is dropping like crazy. But I do feel like there will be those ongoing negotiations, so I'm not too worried. I do feel like it's only a matter of time before someone folds, before someone lifts their tariffs, or if we just have to play the whole long game and wait for the U.S. economy to go up due to things getting built in the U.S. now. But we will see. So the effects of Trump's statements on Bitcoin are very striking. In his first statement, Trump announced that a 10% tariff would be applied to all countries, and the markets priced it positively. You see the movement of Bitcoin above 88,000. This is what I was just talking about earlier. Very, very bullish. People thought, oh, a 10% tariff would be applied to all countries. That immediately got priced in. Prices started going up today, leading up to the announcement. I'm very curious what prices would have gone to, because they went up to 88,000 before the announcement. Would it have kept climbing? I don't know, but that would have been interesting to see. Obviously, we aren't going to know now because he did not announce that. Afterwards, he announced high rate tariffs on China, Vietnam, and the EU, and pulled all markets down. 1.3 trillion was wiped out in the S&P 500 in 4 minutes. Bitcoin fell to 83,000. Trump's tax agenda is now boring. There will be a response to this. The pressure on the markets will continue. You can be sure that these taxes will be lifted sooner or later. They direct the markets as they want. They use social media tremendously. So markets are being shaped. Markets are being shifted. This tariff news, whenever he talks about tariffs, it goes way up, it goes way down. It shifts the market tremendously. So just if you know President Trump's going to be talking about tariffs, circle that date, circle that time, and buy or sell accordingly with what you think is going to happen, because prices will be moving. We've seen that time and time again. That is not financial advice. That is just based off historical data and what I will be doing. But if I were, that's what I'm going to be looking at. So, yeah, you see the movement went from up to 88,000 right away. Did not hear what they wanted, immediately back down to 83,000. But why I am still bullish, oh, you can see Bitcoin just at 88,000. The Trump pump is here. It went way up, but then that was this point, and now it's way down. So that didn't last too long. Let's see. But why I'm still bullish, let's see. Listen to Eric Trump talking about Bitcoin late last night, earlier this morning. This was posted, so take a listen to this and just listen to how Eric Trump talks about Bitcoin and tell me why you would be bearish even with prices going down today.
Fair. And that's what opened my eyes. I mean, I'm a hard asset guy. My entire life has been building hotels, golf courses, real estate buildings, right, commercial buildings, etc. That's what I've done. If there's anybody's eyes who shouldn't have been open to the world of cryptocurrency, it was mine, other than I realized the power that these banks had, and I realized how they were exerting that power, and they were canceling businesses all over our country. It was political. It was forced. They were targeting people that they didn't like. It wasn't fair. And then you realize that there's not a single thing that those banks do that can't be done better, cheaper, more efficiently, faster on blockchain. I mean, why is it that the modern financial system runs 9 to 5 Monday through Friday? Why is it, Maria, that if you want to go get a loan and you've been banking with a certain bank for 30 years, it would probably take you 100 days to go do it, and you'd be filling out antiquated paper forms? It doesn't make sense, right? And again, that's why I fell in love with crypto, and I truly believe that Bitcoin is one of the greatest stores of value, immediately liquid, an unbelievable hedge against real estate, and something we're really excited about. Lawfare.
So you can just hear him talk about Bitcoin in a way where they're highly motivated to invest into crypto, make crypto a part of this country. He talks about banks, how he's not a fan of banks, the hours with banks, how hard it is to get loans that you've been banking with, how you can get debanked, how his family got debanked. They are motivated to make Bitcoin, to make crypto a part of this country because of what it's going to do. It's going to make everything so much easier. It's going to make things cheaper. It's going to make things faster. And it's going to be 24/7. So to hear him talk about Bitcoin and crypto like this is very encouraging. And this was just the other day, and we are seeing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies drop like crazy off of tariff news. Like, that is crazy to me. I don't think that's going to hold up long term at all. I think that is short term fear, and I think prices will be coming back. Like, there's just time and time again where we're hearing different Trumps, specifically Eric, talk about this. We've heard Don Jr. talk about it as well. I actually have something about him next post, but this is just very, very bullish to hear them talking like this, like something big is going on in my mind. And then you also had Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump to invest in a Bitcoin mining company. Like, the Trumps are fully investing into crypto and Bitcoin. They are laying it all out there, whether it's their company, whether it's them, whether it's whoever they are involved with. You just constantly are hearing their name in the news with crypto. And I am just very, very bullish. I think all the signs are there that long term it is going to go up. They're not going to put policies in place that hurt them financially. Like, that's not what the Trumps are going to do. Donald Trump's not going to do something that's going to wipe out half of his son's net worth, in my opinion. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen. So take that for what you will. But even though he's the president of the United States and has to do his best for the country, and I think he will do his best for the country, I think he's also going to factor that in. And I feel like Donald Trump himself is going to be highly invested in crypto, and he's going to get rewarded if crypto goes up. So I feel like those policies are going to be in place. It's only a matter of when, not if, in my mind. And then finally, other bullish news. April is historically the second best month for crypto. Year in and year out, average return by month. April is second to October in average return. So take that for what you will. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to go up 18% this month like it has historically. That's the average. But historically, April has been a pretty good month for crypto. So I'm keeping my hopes high. I'm still thinking good news is coming. I think it's only a matter of time. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this, on your thoughts about Liberation Day, on the tax plan. What do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin? What do you think is going to happen to some of these other coins? Do you think April is still going to be a good month to invest? Or do you think it's going to come crashing back down to like 70, 75,000 for Bitcoin? Or do you think we could see 90,000 here again shortly? So give me your thoughts below. I'd love to interact with you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And again, if you like the video, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And until then, I will talk to you guys next time.